In this short video, we are going to present a service from Confident, which helps LeanIX customers take quality and trust in data to the next level. As this add-on is designed for being used with LeanIX, it is preferable to have basic knowledge of the tool before watching this video. Whether you are utilizing LeanIX as part of a larger transformation initiative, need to be compliant with directives, or are managing your enterprise architecture in general, it's crucial to ensure that the data serving as the foundation for your conclusions, decisions, and actions are fit for purpose. While LeanIX will take you a long way, increasing numbers of contributing stakeholders and expanding architectural landscapes often makes it relevant to consider automation as part of maintaining the desired data fitness, both to add and secure consistency, but also to minimize the manual workload. In the remainder of this video, we will walk you through the general considerations to bear in mind when discussing data quality in data-driven enterprise architecture management. Moreover, we will present how Factsheet Insights will extend the platform's capabilities even further, elevating data quality and trust, while at the same time minimizing the manual workload. LeanIX is a data-driven EAM tool. It lets you model key aspects of your organization's reality, from strategic objectives to software, and everything in between. It lets us strategize about future scenarios and understand what changes in one area may lead to in terms of derived impacts in others. This is all super powerful, provides transparency, and fosters collaboration. It runs on data, which is a good thing as it brings a lot of benefits over more traditional artifact-driven approaches. And with any powerful engine, fuel quality is critical. We must crowdsource the data within our organization to ensure it covers every corner and perspective. Two things become paramount to ensure ease and comfort in contributing data, while at the same ensuring trust in the data for those who will be making decisions based on the data. Firstly, we need clear definitions of what good quality data looks like. Secondly, we need effective mechanisms to enforce this agreed level of quality. Before going into LeanIX to see how this can be achieved, let's discuss these two topics in a bit more detail. Definition of good quality means that you need conventions. For modeling, say integrations as an example. How do we model different integration scenarios to support the kind of insights we need to drive? When do we use hierarchies for different types of fact sheets? What is optional versus mandatory information to document? What are naming conventions for different types of fact sheets? Are there rules to what make up a sufficient description of a business capability? For example, number of characters or sentences. What are different roles and associated responsibilities? What are rules for delegation or transfer of responsibilities? When am I to create or update which information? When does something become mandatory? How fast should I respond to events, such as quality seals breaking? This leads us to the enforcement part. You need functionality out of your EAM-Tool to help you take this topic seriously. Ideally, you are able to prevent most problems. When that is not possible, you need to be able to easily identify the issues. Once identified, you need good collaboration features to help you fix it, and functionality to help you track the effects of your efforts. You should be able to measure quality in terms of completeness, accuracy, and consistency. LeanIX has great capabilities to help us get and stay on top of data quality. Mandatory content such as fields, relationships, and descriptions can be defined. In combination with the quality seal concept, this guarantees data completeness on the individual fact sheet level. Facet filters help us identify fact sheets that may have quality issues. Bookmarking such a search lets us continuously check the status of a particular type of quality issue. These bookmarks can be fed into surveys. In combination with subscriptions and to-dos, we are set up for conducting collaborative data quality campaigns. With the feature set around KPIs and dashboards, we can make the size of the quality issues and the effect of our campaigns visible to everyone, with concrete numbers and trend lines. Equally important, LeanIX is a flexible, open, and extendable platform, and we have leveraged this to extend these capabilities even further. At Confident, we offer a managed service where we continuously X-ray your inventory for policy violations based on rules configured to match your agreed-upon conventions. These rules will be able to pick up on things which the LeanIX platform will not be able to pick up on with the out-of-the-box capabilities. However, the findings we make are fed right back into Lean IX, where they become accessible to the default capabilities. This means that users, fact sheet owners, and those globally responsible for inventory quality stay within Lean IX and use known and trusted features. Essentially, to end users, the service is more or less invisible, the difference being that no one is wasting time hunting down hard-to-find quality issues. They can instead focus on correcting them. As an example, feeding the business capabilities with insufficient descriptions to the AI assistant for suggestions is easy, once you know which ones are considered insufficient. What the service gives us is added flexibility when we talk completeness. This means that information can be mandatory, but enforced at other times than quality seal approval. An example of this could be applications, where a relationship to at least one organizational unit is mandatory when the application lifecycle becomes active, because it means it has been rolled out to the first unit. We also work with a distinction between hard violations and softer observations. The latter is not a violation per se, but something worth looking into. As an example, an interface fact sheet may have a hard requirement to have both a providing and consuming application. On the other hand, application fact sheets have no requirements towards related interfaces. However, an application which is not exchanging any information may be worth putting on an observation list, as chances are someone forgot to document a data flow. What the service also gives us is added capabilities when we talk accuracy and consistency. We can detect naming convention violations. We can be more specific in regard to cardinality of relations. We can determine the aforementioned insufficient description by number of characters and/or sentences. We can define maximum duration for a lifecycle stage. As an example, we may want to pinpoint applications that have been end of life for a year to put them on an observation list for archiving, or even trigger an automation for doing the archiving. We can also work with the concept of maximum duration for quality seal states. As an example, we may only allow 6 weeks for the draft state and 3 weeks for the broken state before we consider it a problem. With this as our backdrop, let's switch to Lean IX to see how this looks for users in their daily use. There are multiple ways for how to arrange and present insights into the quality of your inventory. But here's a suggestion that often works well. It starts out with a main quality dashboard, where you describe exactly what we are monitoring for in terms of quality. We don't have to include what is managed by mandatory fields in connection with the quality seal, because Lean IX will do a strict enforcement of this to prevent any issues of that kind. This is for the things that cannot be enforced on data entry, but has to be monitored. In this case, we are looking for specific types of issues that may arise across 4 fact sheet types. As you will see, a couple of these are not strict policies, but points for observation, as it may indicate missing instances of other fact sheet types. If we scroll down the dashboard, we will see different sections with high-level numbers per fact sheet type. Let's look at applications. We have a chart which lets us know how many fact sheets of this type are okay versus in violation of one or more policies, or has one or more observation points. This is accompanied by KPIs tracking the development in each of those populations. This is critical if you are conducting any campaigns to drive up quality. You need to know if it has an effect. Also, at a later stage, if you have eliminated the issues, you want to be able to act quickly if, for instance, a recent onboarding of users has led to the issue being reintroduced. Finally, there is a section with links to more detailed quality dashboards for the specific fact sheet type. Looking at applications, we can see a positive trend. So we have positively been impacting quality over the last 30 days. But we can also see that we still have a relatively large population of fact sheets with violations or observations. So let's go to the detailed dashboard to know more about what needs to improve. At the top of the detailed dashboard, we provide some context and guidance. There is a link to the conventions, as they are the basis of what we are monitoring for. We have some instructions for how to best use the dashboard. If you want to work on improving the quality, we repeat what it is that we are monitoring for with this particular fact sheet type. Next, we follow this up with an overview which shows us something about the distribution of quality issues. In this particular case, we see how it looks for applications across the organization. Because we may be doing well in some areas whereas other parts of the organization need some attention. What to cluster by is something to decide on a case-by-case basis. It can be that it is more relevant to do by business capability, or perhaps you are working with domains or something entirely different. What is important is to be able to look for areas where quality is good or the opposite, areas where quality is poor. There may be a chance to take learnings from where quality is good and apply them where quality is less good. If we scroll further down this page, we get a section for each type of violation that we are monitoring for. And this is where it becomes very actionable to deal with the issues. You will see a description of the policy. You will see some hints on what actions you can take. You will see how this particular type of violation is trending. In this case, we have made a serious positive data quality impact recently. Finally, you get the saved search of exactly those fact sheets violating the particular policy. In this case, all application fact sheets where the quality seal has been broken for more than 7 days. Clicking the fact sheets in violation will take you directly to the inventory to work with the identified problem fact sheets. If this was a longer list, you may want to run a survey on all the applications in this bookmark, specifically asking the responsible user to review and approve as needed. If it was a type of issue where you can get assistance from the AI assistant, then you can use the bookmark to feed the assistant. You can, of course, also start working with the list directly in the inventory. You might use the facet filters on the left to further zoom in on specific problems. You may filter to find those you are responsible for, or to find those that are relevant for a certain part of the organization. Going into a fact sheet and scrolling down, you will see a special section at the bottom of the fact sheet called Quality Assurance. This is being maintained automatically once every 24 hours by the service and filled in based on the results of analyzing the inventory. You will see an aggregated status. If there are any violations, the aggregated status will reflect this. If no violations but only observations exists, then the aggregated status will reflect this. The third and final option is that the fact sheet is okay. The typical configuration of this section is that it can be viewed and edited by admins and anyone accountable or responsible for the fact sheet, while it is hidden for everyone else. This can, of course, be tailored to specific liking. Let's go into edit mode for this section. You will notice that the stickers, which have been placed on the fact sheet by the service to indicate violations or observations, can be edited, provided you have the needed authorization. This means that if you are manually working your way through a list of problem fact sheets, you can remove this sticker to take them off the list and keep track of how far you've come. It is worth noting, though, that the service will run once every 24 hours. If you removed a sticker without fixing the problem, then the sticker will reappear. If you fix the problem but didn't remove the sticker, the service will remove the sticker for you at next run. The read-only aggregate status cannot be altered manually, and any updates you have made will only reflect in the aggregated status at next run. If we select the detailed dashboard for data flows, or interfaces if you will see that it follows the same pattern as we saw previously. This is a good example of a fact sheet type, where you typically can and will define some strict naming conventions, which we can then monitor against. In fact, let's jump to the conventions being linked to understand what rules have been defined. This is an example set of conventions for documenting data flows. It has different modeling scenarios supported. But down here after the modeling aspects, we get to the naming part. As can be seen from this, we have different conventions for naming, depending on whether or not an external party is involved. Either way, the conventions can, to a great extent, be expressed as rules and hence monitored. The topic of driving quality in your metadata is always relevant. If you are just starting on your data-driven EAM journey, you have a chance to ensure you get on top of data quality from the very beginning. If you are further along but is in doubt about your data quality, or you experience hesitation in trusting the insights, then now is a good time to 1. Get an overview of how fit for purpose your inventory is, and 2. Make it actionable to fix whatever issues you have. In either situation, it is relevant to monitor the trend line in the weeks following onboarding of new users. Thank you for watching, and please, do not hesitate to contact us if you would like to know more about how we may be able to assist you further.